What's up, guys? It's Mack here. Welcome to the Mack Show. And today I have got my special guest, Declan Gilmour, who's going to be speaking to you guys and sharing his experiences as a business acquisition buyer, so a business buyer. So I'm going to bring Declan into onto the stage. It's great to have you here on the show, Declan. Thank you for joining us. And we've decided to bring this weekly show to you guys to help you understand more about buying businesses and how we buy businesses the smart way, and also speaking about other opportunities that we have where you can partner with us as an investor. So a big warm welcome, Declan. Let us know where you are joining us from today.
I am currently in the office in Glasgow, Ken. So you might hear some background noise from the team. We are hard at work and we're making sure deals are being done, and the companies that we own at the moment are all operating well. So you may hear some background noise in the meantime.
That's amazing. I'm grateful that you've taken the time out of your schedule to spend this short time with us. And it's great to see you as well, in the office, actually in the acquisition environment. So just explain to us, what you do in the office from day to day, because, you're not working in these businesses. You're not working above the businesses. You've got teams, I believe, that are looking after these businesses, and you're focusing on the bigger picture acquisition. So just run us through what you're doing on a daily basis in that office and what your vision is. And then we'll move into the, why buying a business is more important than starting a business.
Yeah, so in terms of my daily kind of operations and what we do, me and the team in the office, we have a very high level overview. We don't, we aren't going up to the businesses that we own on a daily basis and the nurseries that we own. We are in the office dealing with the bigger picture, as Ken says. We're dealing with things like the finances, making sure that everything's running smoothly financially, which is the most important part of a business, along with the staff, of course. So that's basically what we're doing. But 90% of my time is taken up by actually looking for more deals, dealing with accountants to make sure that the deals we are buying at the moment are the right deals, dealing with solicitors to make sure that the deals are actually going to go through and the deals are done professionally and legally. So I would say 90% of my time is actually spent on the more deals and that we are doing in the future and deals that we have on the table at the moment.
I think this is a mindset that a lot of people will struggle to understand, because a lot of people would think, if I'm going to buy a business, then I'm going to have a capacity working inside that business day to day, dealing with staff, dealing with problems, and dealing with clients. But you've taken a different approach that we've been working on together, where you're working above the businesses, and now you're looking to build a large group of schools in the United Kingdom. I think it's safe to say that you are the fastest growing group in Scotland just now, which is great to see. And you're working above these businesses and looking at creating that real generational wealth and creating that legacy. So in terms of deals that have been done today and deals that you have in the pipeline, how many businesses have you acquired so far this year?
We've acquired seven companies alone this year, all individual companies and all trading individually as well, which we've taken on board up to date. We have a further 4 acquisitions that are just about to complete, and that will be 7 companies all in, 4 companies, but it's got individual companies inside the trading company. So that will take us up to, I think, 14 or 15 we'll have in the next month or 2, which will be a huge paradigm shift as well. And doubling our company inside 2 months is a crazy idea. But, as Ken said right at the start, we have obviously built out the team. We've built out our operations team to make sure that we don't actually have to do anything in the companies. That's not to say it's not hard work. What we do is hard work, of course, but having that team in the background who have the experience, the skills, the knowledge, and the obviously the reputation in this industry is very important. So we have built that out over the last year, which allows us to simply focus on the deals and focus on the finances of the companies to make sure we're progressing forward in the industry.
And you put it a very nice way when we were speaking before, and you illustrated this as buying somebody else's pain. So if you take collectively all of the 7 companies that have been acquired to date, and you take a look at how many years it's taken to take the company from where it was on day one to where it is now, and you put all that together, I think it's be safe to say that these businesses will exceed well in excess of 100 years worth of pain that has been acquired in the space of, give or take, 8 or 9 months.
Yep. Well, that's it. I mean, if you look at typically our companies that we're buying are around 15 to 20 years old. We've bought 20 of them. We've bought 7 of them. So yeah, if you do the maths on that, it's a lot of years, to say the least, that we've acquired. Now, if you look at the pain that the previous owner went through to get it to where it is today, in terms of profitability, management team, and foundations, that takes a lot of time, a lot of hard work, and a lot of pain. And what we do as business buyers is come in and take over that pain that they have built up, and we just continue to run a legacy, and we take over the goods, and we don't have to go through the hard years. We don't have to go through that pain because that has already been experienced by the previous owners, and we just take over their experiences that they've put in place so that the nurseries continue to operate the way that we want them to operate.
Excellent. And in terms of, you guys have a deal flow of many deals that we're working on together with you. We were speaking about 2 very specific deals. Of course, we can't name what the deals are, but to illustrate the deals to everybody listening to this now, these 2 deals together combined would bring in an annual profits of 1.5, 1.6 million pounds per year, which is incredible. If you're going to be starting a business from scratch, to get your business to 7 figures, not only revenue, but 7 figures in profit, 1.5 million, this is a lot of money. This is a lot of money. To get your business generating that amount of money, it's going to take you a long, long time unless you come up with that miracle product or service, or you find an industry that's super niche with little competition, or you've invented a new niche that suddenly trends. I would imagine, but it's as somebody myself who's bought many businesses, I've started businesses, it's very hard to reach 7 figures in profitability. So how do you feel about these 2 larger deals that you have in the pipeline now? And are these the types of deals that you're going to be focusing on going forward, or what are your plans? Because we are building the company to towards £1 billion valuation company, and of course it's going to be a lot easier to building to a company of that size by acquiring larger companies. So what are your thoughts in terms of buying smaller businesses or buying larger businesses, or is this going to be a mix of small and large?
It definitely is going to be a mix, and there's one reason for it going to be a mix between kind of smaller businesses and larger type businesses, because the industry that we are obviously operating in, the industry that we are in doesn't really have companies that do 3, 4, 5 million pounds profits per year. It's unheard of. It just doesn't happen. So yeah, looking at a company that's doing 750 up to kind of 800k profits is huge in this industry, and it's not the norm. I wouldn't say that's normal for a company in this industry. So we typically see profits of between 2 and 300k, which we would call quite a good deal at this industry. So if we're looking at a company that's doing 700 to 800k profit, then that's probably a deal that will come along once maybe every year or 2. So we'll definitely be focusing on those 2 deals to make sure that these get across the line, and that will give us a huge boost in our business. But we've bought 7 nurseries that are already very, very profitable in terms of 2, 3, 400k profits, and then we are coming in there and making sure we have an uplift as well in the profitability by bringing more clientele on board with us as well, and making sure that the business's percentages are going up. So we will be focused on those deals, but we're also going to be focusing on all the other deals that we have on the table, and we always prioritise every deal that we have to make sure that every deal gets done, especially if they're good deals and we see the benefits that's going to bring to our company.
Beautiful. Now, I think everybody's going to be asking the question, why would you buy a business rather than starting a business? What made you decide to go down the route of buying businesses as opposed to starting a business?
Well, the number one fact was I did try and start a business and pretty much fell flat on my face with it. although we did do well, we were profitable, but in terms of, I don't call, 20k a year profitable. It's because you've got to think about time as well, Ken. If I'm working 8, 9, 10 hours per day, but I'm making 2k a month, then, is my 10 hours a day worth 2k per month? And I would definitely say no. So yeah, I would say that the benefit of buying a company, and I don't actually know if Ken's maybe disappeared. I don't know what's happened, but I'll continue to talk about why I started buying businesses, and it was for the simple reason that I said there. We did try and start a business, me and my business partners, but we fell on our face, and it wasn't worth it. So we started looking at other options in terms of how can we skip the process of actually going through that pain. How can we skip 5, 10 years? Because I think I don't know the percentages, but I know there's a high percentage of businesses failing in the first 10 years. So we wanted
90%.
90%. So that's a crazy figure, and we wanted to try and skip that process. So probably maybe by luck, that we found Ken, and we started to obviously learn more about obviously how we can skip that process and how we can get in there and take over someone else's operation, because that's what we buy. We're buying someone else's operations that they've set up, and we started looking at a sector that was obviously going to be strong and was going to be resistant towards the economic cycles, no matter what they were. And we found that the correct industry, we believe anyway. And then, it just started by going out and reaching out to these people and having conversations with them, people who may want to sell or may not want to sell. And we started to try and build up experience in that sector, try to learn the terminology, etc., so that we were actually in a position to go and buy a company. But yeah, the number one benefit is that you don't go through the pain. You don't have to, worry about when is my company going to become profitable? When can I start taking a salary, a dividends? When can I start actually making an income through this? And you're not having to put your hard-earned money into something which you do have to do if you're doing a startup. So that's the number one benefit for us.
Yeah, and as something to think about as well is, there is a specific way, because when we're buying businesses, we buy it what we call it the smart way, and there is a specific way, a very specific way to structure the business so that it is still profitable during the first 3 years of making the acquisition. Because when you're taking, when you take on a new business and we do a leveraged buyout, it is a science, that there is an art behind it, and you do need to know what you're doing. Of course, you can do very simple deals on your own to get started, but there is a very particular way. But once we bypass that, let's say there's some seller finance involved in the particular deal, and we bypass that 2 or 3 year period of paying that a large amount of money out of the company to the owner of the company, then we will have a lot more free cash flow in that organization, and that's when things start to become a lot more profitable. Is once you get the debt that's been raised in the company paid off. But in the meantime, my methodology is just to stack, just to acquire, and just to keep on buying. Now is the buying time. Your focus just should be just on buying companies, not worrying too much about taking money out of the businesses, but just focusing on buying the businesses, building value, and building for the you can say the next generation. Because what we're building for is generational wealth. We're looking to create that generational wealth, and by starting a business, it's reaching that generational wealth word just doesn't go hand in hand with buying businesses. I was actually putting together some material about why you should buy a business rather than starting a business, and I run out of space to put reasons why you shouldn't be starting a business. So let's go back to the beginning of your journey. So, you were a business owner investing in real estate. You had a successful real estate operation, deal sourcing and structuring, and all sorts of different things within real estate. So, essentially you could say that you had a business and you were having to create value. You were having to put systems in place, do things in a certain way, put a lot of time, effort, energy, resources in, compared to what you've done to buy these businesses that are fully structured operations with staffing, systems, health and safety, Everything is in place: banking relationships, financial relationships, staff, human
Yeah.
resources, everything. So how would you compare that
Well,
compared with
it
what?
probably wasn't a business that I ran previously. Now that I look back at it in terms of what I was doing, because it was a one-man band. Well, it was me and my other business partner at the time. We were running this, and we thought that we were going to take this to 10 million in profit and things like that. And we quickly realised that just isn't doable in that sector, and the strategies that we were using, and then the time that we were putting in as well, and all the hard work that came with that was quite daunting. And for the results, it just wasn't worth it. So, the difference is now that we get to actually operate a team. Beforehand, I never seen a way that we could operate a team. I never seen how can I bring on a team when I'm not even getting predictable income in through my business. So that was a big challenge for us, even bringing anyone on board. But since we bought all the companies, they come with a team. They already come with the management team in place. They come with the staff underneath them. They come with everything, the accountancy, they come with solicitors, they come with absolutely everything that you need in there. And we've managed to take on board more staff members that make our job easier in terms of operations managers. We've taken on, a bookkeeper who runs all our payroll and things like that for us, so that we don't actually have to focus on any of the kind of day-to-day things in a company. We just oversee the financials in terms of, well, how much money is it making, where can we deploy that money to make the company a better environment for our staff, where can we deploy that money to make sure the resources are right in the companies that we own, and where can we deploy that money to make sure that this becomes a better company in general. So one of the biggest things for me is definitely having a team around you, to make sure that I don't know who was it. Maybe it was Jeff Bezos or something like that, who says he simply conducts his orchestra. He doesn't actually do much. He just conducts the orchestra. They do all the work because they're the experts in that, and he just conducts things. And that's pretty much what we are trying to build out here. We're just trying to become conductors of an orchestra where they are the experts in their fields. We don't want to be experts in our industry, individually, because it would take us 20 plus years to get the experience, the skills, and the knowledge that our staff members already have. So by us actually buying those experiences from other staff members that we've brought on board, it skipped us again a further 20 years of experience that we would never have probably got to anyway. So there's many benefits to obviously buying companies, but that's just a few that I see is the main ones.
And it's safe to say that in the very near future, you are. And it's not if you are going to become a multi-millionaire in liquidity personally,
Yeah.
for building this out. And for a lot of people, especially coming from Scotland, they will struggle to get their head around that. And like for me, when I was spending all the years going all over the world buying up companies, some of the largest businesses in this field in South America, I just didn't tend to have these types of conversations with people because they just can't get their head around it. And I found myself living in a bit of a bubble when I was in Scotland, and just do my own thing, because it's not a normal thing for a 26, 27-year-old guy to go out and say, right, I'm going to start buying up schools, and I'm going to become the largest group in Scotland, which you're already halfway there, and then start competing with some of the bigger players in the UK. Once you get into the 1, 200, 300 settings. So it's you've got to we have to give you a lot of respect as well for taking that step forward and having the belief. And that's the important thing, is just having that belief that this is possible, and this is what we do day to day. And when I'm not on social media and doing bits and pieces, I'm working hard behind the scenes with Declan, with my other team members, and we're working hard to create as much value as we can and make these businesses as sustainable, profitable as possible, making sure that the staff in these businesses are well looked after. And that's the most important thing for us. And I know that we are coming to the end of the show. So if anybody's got any questions that's watching this was a completely unplanned event. I literally just went on my phone and I said to Declan, we should start the weekly show now. Let's start in 15 minutes time. So we had none of this planned at all. We've just decided we're going to do a weekly show, and right now was the time that we're going to run it. So I think we'll be running at the same time every week and just keeping it 20 minutes and giving you guys insights behind the scenes what we're up to, and how you can also get involved as a partner, as an investor partner, to partner with us on these deals, because such nice opportunities for investors that can come in, pay down a small amount of equity, and then they sit in the back of the room and just receive dividends. So it's a great way to partner, to invest, and it's a great way to get involved a little bit more hands on with what we are doing day to day. So I can see one question that has come in there from Alex, is asking, do you have your own your own legal team for the acquisitions, or do you do most of it yourself? So I can let you answer that one, Declan.
Yeah, we definitely have an acquisition team who deal with the full process with us. I am not a legal expert. I am not an accountant. Although I am qualified, but I'm not an accountant. I don't want to be an accountant. I want to be a business buyer. I want to focus on buying businesses, so I shouldn't be focused on, the heads of terms, the SPAs, and all the different things that come along with that. I don't want to do that, so I have an expert team who do that for me. And people want to skip the process, and people think that you can skip the process and things like that because it's costly to have a good accountant and a good solicitor. But I would definitely say they're worth their weight in gold, and they've made our job a lot easier in terms of making sure things are done legally and professionally, so that nothing can come back and bite us further down the line. So we always make sure we have the correct advice from the correct people in the UK.
Yeah, no, it's some good points there. It's very important to have your team established. And it would be a good idea as well to make these relationships so that you have them pre-existing before your deals come to the table. When I was working on these deals with Declan, I've got my own in-house legal team who had helped us package, make sure everything was okay, go through all of the due diligence, and really put everything together so that we were fully protected with all of these acquisitions. So a good idea would be to make that relationship first before you bring a deal into the table, so that you have some good people. There are so many solicitors out there, and so many good solicitors, so many bad solicitors. So it's very important to make sure that you get that right solicitor that's going to look after you, not overcharge you, and do a good job. Got another comment there from Campbell McLean. Really enjoyed it. Excellent start. Great 15 minutes. Looking forward to seeing more from you.
Yeah, we could do a topic every week. Maybe we do a topic every week, Ken, and we just chat about. Yeah, I think today's mostly been about the difference between starting up and actually buying a company and what the benefits are. So maybe next week we do a different topic and we just chat every week about a different topic and give some people some value and look. We can share other experiences as well from what we've had in the sectors.
Yes, great idea. So we'll be running the show with just a topic, like Declan says, every single week that we'll be picking. We'll be keeping the shows to 15, 20 minutes, so they're not too long. And it's going to be helping you guys and give you some ideas and show you what's possible, because you can see very clearly that there is a £1 billion company under construction. That is happening. And once we start onboarding more investors, then the things are going to start happening a lot quicker. And what's very exciting as well is that we've just partnered with Acquire Fi, who are going to be crowdfunding equity. So they have investment pools, and they're turning a percentage of companies, so it could be 10 to 20% of companies, into NFTs. So they're going to be bringing investors to the table from the blockchain that will be investing in various different acquisitions that we are doing, from stuff with Declan to other manufacturing companies in the UK and other opportunities that we have in the pipeline. But as it stands at the moment, the first opportunity that we're launching, in fact, the platform launches tomorrow, which I'm super excited about, Acquire.fi. We have DK Acquisitions as the first partner with the first Acquire Fi pool, where 10% of the company can be acquired?
Yeah, 10%, yeah.
So 10%. So as a investor through the blockchain, as a crypto investor, you can buy 10% of that company and then receive your profits back through the blockchain into your crypto wallet, which is absolutely crazy. And we are one of the first companies in the world to do this. So yeah, I'm very excited to be part of that operation. And by the way, guys, the company successfully just got a listing on one of the world's largest crypto exchanges, which was KuCoin, and that happened yesterday. So the IDO was yesterday. So if you guys want to check out the ACQ token, it is on KuCoin. So I've got another question. Declan, have your acquisitions been shared or asset purchases? And what do you believe is the best way to buy? Have you?
Yeah, I'll answer it, Ken.
Okay.
I think he's just asking what we prefer to buy, is it asset or share?
Yeah.
Share purchases. So if you're not aware, an asset purchase is where you don't actually buy the limited company that operates in the UK. You just buy essentially the goodwill of the company, and you get to continue that. Where a share purchase is where you buy everything. You buy the full limited company, and you buy everything that comes along with that. That would be the debtor book, the creditor book, everything that comes along with it, the bad, the good, the ugly. So yeah, we always prefer to do share purchases, simply because I always say that if you're buying asset purchases, then you're basically starting a company again, because you have no track record. No lender will look at you because they'll say, well, what's your track record of the new company, which you don't have. And there's so many downsides to that, but there's so many upsides as well, which I see a lot of people talk about. Just my experience, I prefer to buy the full limited company, so that I'm buying relationships with business banking managers. You're buying relationships with a lot of people that has been built up over the 20 years or whatever the company's been running. And it's also easier to get done. It's easier to continue to operate. You don't have to 2P staff over. If you're buying a company assets, you have to then give new staff contracts, etc., or 2P the existing staff contracts over. And it's just a lot of work that goes into that. That, to be honest with you, I'm not experienced in, so I can't really speak too highly of it. But what we've done is share purchases, and they're very straightforward. You buy the company, the bank account's already set up. And the industry that we're in as well is very heavily regulated. So if you buy a company in my industry that I'm in, which is the early educational space, then you have to go through a thing called an inspection, a care inspectorate. You have to be registered with that body. So if you then start a new company, essentially doing asset purchases, there can be some stipulations there where you have to apply for new registration and things like that, which can take 6 months. You can lose your funding, and you won't actually receive any income. So we've always kept it pretty simple and bought the full company, which is a share purchase.
Yeah, Declan hit the nail on the head. From my side, buying a business that's not a company doesn't make any sense. I've got no interest at all buying assets. It's an absolute headache. If you want to play small, then buy assets. If you want to play big, buy companies, and you don't get big by playing small. So I can save you a bunch of time and a headache by just pushing you towards company acquisitions only and leaving asset purchases in the dust because it's too much hassle. And this question here, I'm going to, this one here, we will answer that in another session. So how do you structure that with zero money down? Well, that is a science and it's an art form. So we will give you more insights into the leverage buyout world. We don't like using the word zero money down so much, but we like to call it buying businesses the smart way, because there is always money to put down in some shape or form, whether it's from your pocket or somebody else's. But that's like I say, that's a topic for another day. So guys, we've been running this show now for 15 minutes more than what we were planned. So thank you for staying with us there, Declan. Really appreciate it. So guys, we'll see you next week at the same time. And if the time changes, I'll be sure to put a notification out there. But we're going to be going live across Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. Thanks for joining us, Declan, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. We'll chat soon.